Tom Hardy type sounds like a dating app women would actually use. It's a font that gives me a hard-on. What's up, you guys? Welcome to Boss Level 8, where we make fun of movie critics. We just watched the movie Upgrade, and we are going to take a look at Dana Schwartz review. I have never seen this before, neither have you, so we're going to read it together for the first time and see how bad it is and make fun of it. But before we make fun of it, if it's your first time here, hit that subscribe button and the little bell right next to it. Now let's jump into this review and see how crappy it is. Upgrade is a movie about a man who looks like Tom Hardy, who... The end. I'll be honest, that should be enough. That motherfucker's dreaming. If this were followed up with someone that looked like Ryan Gosling is also in the movie, I'd have to watch that movie very alone. Or with an incredibly open-minded friend, who becomes incredibly violent and skilled at fighting. I guess that is a distinction you have to make. Like, just not just being violent, but also skilled, you know? I mean, there's a difference between a bar fight and a ninja. I mean, if I was in an abusive relationship, or if I was in an abusive relationship with someone who, like, specifically hit things on me, like, I don't even know which is more terrifying. Like, I'd be like, I guess impressed. More than anything. It's just like, instead of like the girl slapping me in the face for not doing the dishes, she like hits a pressure point. I'm just on the ground going like, for 15 minutes. You learn. I mean, you learn. Skilled at fighting thanks to a symbiotic add-on embedded inside him. With its help, the Tom Hardy type is able to easily defeat a bevy of anonymous alley thugs and their ilk, though he's plagued with the suspicion that the implant may not be entirely moral. No? Might not be entirely moral? Yeah, I can kind of understand that. Especially considering that, like, it's sentient AI. Not to mention, like, if you see one of the first deaths in this movie, the morality is definitely questioned. That is not a spoiler. There is no way for me to spoil that death. It is a bit shocking. In the film, written and directed by Saw co-writer Leigh Whannell, the Tom Hardy type is Logan Marshall-Green. This Tom Hardy type thing at first was cute, now it's just really annoying. It's like most anime. There's a lot to weed through before you get the good stuff, let's be honest. As much as I love kawaii, I don't understand it. It's like a candy raver at an EDM festival. It's like, shit, I just want to use the porta potty. I'll just stick to my shojin, or slowjin. I don't know what he was talking about. Anybody have a drink? In the upcoming movie Venom, which shares an almost identical plot, the Tom Hardy type is Tom Hardy. Spoilers! Tom Hardy type sounds like a dating app women would actually use. It's a font that gives me a hard-on. It's unfair to criticize Upgrade for sharing a similar logline to another upcoming movie with a similar looking star. That can be chalked up to poor timing or unlucky casting. And so, instead, let's criticize Upgrade for also sharing a logline with about a dozen other movies and television shows. I guess you could say that about most things. It's very rare that someone comes up with an entirely original plot, or logline, as you say. That's why every once in a while there's a P.T. Anderson movie and you're like, what the fuck? Also why there's 3 Magicians movies in the summer. Also why for like 5 years straight, Tommy Lee Jones was in every single movie that came out in the summer and they were all the fucking same. That happened. An average man is implanted with enhanced physical abilities, possibly after paralysis or a near-death experience. RoboCop, The Matrix, Chuck, Hardwired, The Tuxedo starring Jackie Chan, because we had to explain who's in Tuxedo but not anything else, apparently. Avatar, alright. Inspector Gadget, starring Matthew Broderick. The $6 Million Man. Yeah, we get the point. It's a thing that's happened before. Now let's talk about dramas and love stories and heist movies and all sorts of other shit. Who cares? An average man becomes a vigilante after the violent death of his wife. Death Wish, original and remake. Well, yeah, obviously. Thanks for the clarification as to whether or not the original and the remake had a similar plot. The Fugitive, original and remake. Yeah, it's a remade television show. You did say movies and television shows, by the way. Also, Tommy Lee Jones is in that. Law-Abiding Citizen. You know, the one you should clarify because no one fucking saw that one. Marvel's The Punisher. See? TV show. Kind of. Series on Netflix. Whatever. Interested in a movie that's currently in theaters? Maybe that's why you're reading my review. Might I point you to Deadpool 2, which, spoiler alert, follows a suicidal man with enhanced fighting abilities trying to get revenge after the death of his wife. See, and you'll notice that you can have a similar plot or logline and have it be completely different. Comparing Deadpool 2 to this is nuts. absolutely and incredibly psychotic. It's like comparing peanut butter and a drag race. Yeah, that's fucking stupid, right? Either the TV and the movie. Neither makes sense. Although the TV show is creamy, nutty, and not part of my diet. That's not to say a movie is necessarily bad for treading on well-worn territory, because that's every movie. There was probably, in one draft, a theme or central idea that this movie was attempting to convey, but the thesis must have long ago been lost to the tsunami of clunky dialogue. The characters repeatedly refer to each other as husband and wife. Yeah, that was supposed to be cute. That was the whole point. They were being cute. You ever seen a couple that you ever seen one of those couples that says babe after everything? Like, hey babe, are we going to the store, babe? Hey babe. They do it when they're not even there. They accidentally call you babe. And 7 of you threw up in your mouths a little bit, and the rest of you actually threw up. So the audience understand they are, in fact, husband and wife. Now, it's not true. It's not why it was done. It was just a cutesy little thing. We already went through that. Moving along. Discussing plot holes feels like a bit of a waste of space. You know exactly what you're getting with this movie. And that's how you should have walked into it at all. That's the problem. You should have walked into it knowing what you were gonna get and wanting that. It's as simple as that. It's like walking into the Apple store looking for computers you can easily upgrade. Yeah, fuck you, Apple. I have an iPhone, I don't care. What does it matter, say, if Gray, Marshall-Green, is delivered case files from the police officer tasked with solving his ex-wife's murder, as if civilians are routinely enlisted in detective work? I love that, like, in a sea of plot holes, that's the one you picked. I agree it's a plot hole. I just didn't care, because it was more about the way that he was gonna kill things without his control because there was some sentient AI thing in him. That was generally my priority in this movie, not like, how did he get those papers? That doesn't make sense. I don't know. How does he have a thing fixing his fucking brainstem and making it so he can do karate moves? Does it matter that the same police officer can identify Gray via the city's ubiquitous drone cameras outside a suspect's house, but somehow not see him stand up from his wheelchair and walk, which he does on the street in plain view? Will the average viewer roll their eyes at the fact that neither the police nor Gray noticed that the thugs who shot him weren't using conventional guns, but weapons implanted in their arms? Does it matter that Gray doesn't think to report this incredibly relevant information to the police? No. No, it doesn't matter, because to expect no plot holes in this is complete and utter nonsense. And there's also ways that you could say that people would miss these things. They weren't able to identify the people that killed his wife and made him a quadriplegic. So why would they be able to identify him? There's like a million ways to explain this shit. I don't even care. I can think of 20 ways to explain it. But who cares? The point of this is not that. The point of this is, it's fun, there's a villain, what's gonna happen? This guy's fighting people and killing them. Interesting, wee. That's what this is. No, of course it doesn't. Yup, it doesn't. But I guess you had to ask all of those questions to realize that that's not how you should watch this ridiculous, stupid sci-fi action movie. Have some fun, man. It's like if someone gives you free appetizers at Applebee's, you're sitting there talking to them for 30 minutes as to why you got free appetizers, instead of eating the appetizer. And now it's cold and gross because it was potato skins and that cheese congealed. You know that it's not as good unless it's right out of the oven. Congealed. Upgrade ends with a twist so obvious that the only way you'll be surprised is if you've suffered your own recent chip implant that has wiped your memory of every movie you've ever seen. Thanks for that. Yeah, I just knew there was gonna be a point when you were a writer. All right. Who cares if the twist is something that you knew was gonna happen? Did you have a good time? That's all we should care about. Not everybody can be M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong. Also, earlier when you were listing movies and you said Avatar, I went to The Last Airbender and not the other Avatar. And I was like, is that the plot? Oh, wait, that one. As a movie, it's the cinematic equivalent of Paint by Numbers. Competent, attractive even. But take a single step closer and the lines peek through. It's like a former model. Is that insensitive? I didn't say female, assholes. You were thinking female. There's no need to pay money to go see Upgrade. If you select it on a plane and sleep through 60% of it, you've seen it in its entirety. Yeah, but it's currently not available on planes. That's actually a really specific thing to wait for. You have to wait for it to be out of theaters, wait for it to be out of theaters enough to be on a plane, and then also be on a plane. I want to know if I should see this movie. That's why you write reviews. Maybe. I don't even know anymore. Did you guys like Upgrade? I'd really love to know. If you did, let us know what you thought in the comments. Even if you didn't, we'd just love to hear what you thought of the movie. Do you think this guy's review is ridiculous? Because I do. If it's your first time here, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the little bell right next to it. And until we see you guys next time, geek out and game on.